Hiya, my name is Jess and welcome to my channel. Have a look at this. Today I'm going to be telling you about my top 10 favourite first sentences of books. So I am not one of these people that can just go into a bookshop, read the blurb and then pick up and buy that book. If I'm going to buy a book, I need to be at least like 75% sure that I'm really going to like it. And one of the factors in me choosing a book is nearly always the opening line. If an author delivers a really strong first sentence, a first sentence that makes me want to read on, I am more likely to pick up that book because of it. So here I have 10 books that I think have really strong opening lines, and they're in no particular order, so here we go. The first line on my list I have is from The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. First the colours, then the humans. That's usually how I see things, or at least how I try. What I love about this first sentence is the ominous sort of feel it has to it. You're really curious as to who this narrator is. The fact that he refers to the humans as the humans is just that he isn't human, and it's all so confusing and compelling, as is the rest of The Book Thief. The second opening line I have on my list here is from Jellicoe Road by Melina Marchetta, also published as On the Jellicoe Road. My father took 132 minutes to die. I counted. So like The Book Thief, this is a really ominous opening, and again it causes so many questions to arise. Something quite morbid about it, about the idea of a girl counting exactly how many minutes it took for her father to die, and you just want to know why. I think that sort of questioning that it makes you do, that wanting to know why, is what makes a really strong book opening in Jellicoe Road. And the next opening line I'm going to talk about is a classic, and it's from Pride and Prejudice by... ooh, that's not in camera. So the next line I'm going to talk about is from Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. There's something so sardonic and sarcastic about that first line, and also because it's a classic and because almost everyone knows what book it's from, it's almost comforting to read it. It's sort of like putting on a warm old coat that you haven't worn in a while, or like catching an episode of a TV show that you used to love. It's comforting, and it's just so wonderful to open that book and to read that first sentence because you know you're going to love the story that comes with it. The next opening sentence is a bit of a cheat because it's more like a preface, kind of. I don't really know what it is, but it's from Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. Once upon a time, an angel and a devil fell in love. It did not end well. What I really love about this story opening is that it reads kind of like a tale. It starts with Once Upon a Time, which is obviously such a classic story opening, but it just kind of, it sets the sort of magical, whimsical wonder that comes along with the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. What Laini Taylor does is she kind of like dots these little things about the angel and the devil in different sections throughout her story, and it kind of makes the entire series feel almost like an old wives' tale in a way. Very magical, and it's really creative, and I absolutely loved seeing that line on the first page. The next opening sentence is another classic, and it is from The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. Again, I think this is sort of similar to Pride and Prejudice in that there's something comforting about reading it. You can't help but smile when you get that first opening sentence. The Hobbit is such a classic and traditional fantasy story, and there's just something really wonderful about reading that sentence and just like seeing it in your mind. Plus, The Hobbit films as Martin Freeman, so now whenever I read that book, or try to read that book because I haven't actually finished it yet, Martin Freeman is actually who I picture as Bilbo Baggins, which just makes it a much more enjoyable reading experience. The next opening line I'm going to talk about is from Delirium by Lauren Oliver. It has been 64 years since the President and the Consortium identified love as a disease, and 43 since the scientists perfected a cure. That is a really intense start to a story. If you're like smacked with the information that love is a disease, and then you're smacked with the other bit of information that there's been a cure, and then you're just being smacked from all these angles by this crazy dystopian future, and there are so many questions you have, and I think Lauren Oliver probably has created one of my favourite opening lines in this list just because it's so unexpected and original, and it really makes you want to read on. The next opening line is from The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. The circus arrives without warning. No announcements precede it, no paper notices on downtown posts and billboards, no mentions or advertisements in local newspapers. It is simply there when yesterday it was not. Dun dun dun! Again, I feel like this is a very whimsical opening. It feels very magical and mysterious and wizardy. There's a lot I could say about this, but I think the core thing is just that it's an opening sentence that really makes you want to turn the page. You want to know why a massive circus has just propped up in the middle of nowhere. You want to know these things. The next opening sentence is from Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wine. I am a coward. I wanted to be heroic, and I pretended I was. I have always been good at pretending. There's something really intense about that opening line. The voice comes across as really strong, and the fact that she opens it with such a big statement that she's a coward just makes you question why. Why is she a coward? What has she done that's so cowardly? There's something very sinister when she talks about always being good at pretending, and you just want to know what she's done. The next opening line is from The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Lesley Walton. Many I was myth incarnate, the embodiment of a most superb legend, a fairy tale. Some consider me a monster, a mutation. To my great misfortune, I was once mistaken for an angel. To my mother, I was everything. To my father, nothing at all. To my grandmother, I was a daily reminder of love's long lost. But I knew the truth. Deep down, I always did. I was just a girl. That is a powerful sentence to start your book with. Lesley Walton has this way with language, which you see as well if you carry on with the prologue. Which, after that opening sentence, you would carry on with the prologue. She has such a powerful way with language and with kind of like building up tension in her words. There's something very dramatic about that opening few sentences where she starts explaining what she was to all these different people, and it makes you really curious about her character. And the final opening sentence is from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Mr. and Mrs. Dursley of number 4 Privet Drive were proud to say that they were perfectly normal. Thank you very much. I don't even think I need to explain why that is such a great first sentence. I just cannot help but smile when I read it, and again I think it's the comfort thing that I talk about with so many books. It's just in that first sentence there is so many secrets, if that makes any sense. Like, who are these people? Why are they proud to say that they're perfectly normal? They're obviously not perfectly normal if they have to tell someone about it. And it is just such a great start to a series. So those are my top 10 first sentences. What did you think of them? Would you read on? Thank you for watching. Goodbye.